Welcome to this explainer video on how to choose a Google photographer. Hello, my name is Brent from AVR Lab. We have a Google agency that has nearly 30 million views of the content we've shot for businesses in the past few years. Predominantly we work in the New South Wales Midwest, also New South Wales South Coast and in Melbourne. And we also have some colleagues in New Zealand, in Auckland and in the North Island, regularly photographing businesses, and we do their post-production. So in this particular case here, the owner has been kind enough to allow us to do some photography here, and we can showcase the difference between the owner of this business, the difference between two different types of cameras. So in this particular case, we've got nice sharp imagery, and so this is us, and that's them, whoever they may be. So in this particular case now, this has been shot with a one-shot camera. And one-shot cameras, they work reasonable outside, not so good here, but reasonable outside, but definitely in low light. They have a lot of trouble defining objects because once the camera is activated, the whole 360 scene is taken within an instant. In our particular case, we're taking multiple photographs facing that way, multiple photographs facing that way, multiple that way, and this way. And these photographs are blended together to create some even exposure so that we can look here, but we also can see outside rather than have it being washed out like this, which is not really flattering to the business. So that's them, and that's us. Looking inside with this camera to see the differences inside, this is usually in corridors you get really bright light streaming down the bottom of the corridor, and the idea is to try and try and stop that light from washing out the imagery, which we've done here quite successfully by shooting multiple exposures. So that's us. Now in the same corridor, that's them. Them is anybody who uses one-shot cameras, which are generally used by amateurs, people who are carrying the camera with them and they're on a holiday or an excursion, or they've just got it in their bag. These are great cameras for instant shooting, but in a professional environment, they just can't define light, as you can see when we zoom in here. It's all pixelated. There's no definition. So that's them. It's them, sorry, and this is us. Okay, so there's virtually no comparison, really. We can almost read the name tag without the name of the author, or we can actually, and the name of the painting. Here, we can almost read that Living Sands. We can almost read that with the photography that we've used. However, you would have no show of reading that there with this type of photography because it lacks definition. Not that anybody necessarily would be reading that in a virtual tour. That's not the reason. It's just simply to use this text as a way of showing you the lack of definition. Them, us. Them, us. Okay. And now moving on to another interesting one, it's room 14 here. We've taken a shot down here at the end to showcase this room. And once again, room 14, them, they're by the door, but essentially we're in the same room, just at different ends. So that's them, that's us. The problem with one-shot cameras too is they have trouble defining what is white, and generally the people using these cameras won't do any post-production work. That is, they won't tweak it or do color balancing afterwards. They'll just send the photography to Google Street View and along with the invoice to the client. And you can see too there's some stitching errors here. I mean, a lot of the panos get minor stitching areas, but this is a little bit too much in a professional environment. So once again, there's us. Them. Moving on now into another dark area. Look at the bar here. So there's bright light coming from an open doorway out there, and that's them. That's us. Okay, our camera is a little bit closer to the bar, but you can generally you'll still get the idea. That's us, and you can actually even define. You can define objects out there, outside there, even though it's very bright light coming in there because we've taken multiple exposures. So that's us. That's them. 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 Us. Them. Us. These squiggly lines, by the way, it's just Google's browser. So you see there's a few squiggly lines. Once you move it around, it's just that I'm recording the screen here. It's not ideal, but it's okay. That's them. Us. So hopefully that helps you to understand that please don't be price driven. We produce this type of quality for very near the same price as somebody would produce this quality. This quality is produced by a one-shot camera that's easy to deploy from room to room to room. You can do a lot of panos in a short space of time with virtually no production. So therefore profit margins are even higher for the business that's doing this generally than for us, where we're doing a lot of work in post-production to give the business imagery that they're going to feel proud of. So thank you.